So you want to start a rental property, but you don't know where to start. Don't worry, I got you. I'm Jackie, the Happy Investor. I've flipped houses for over 20 years. I've got 1 million rental properties. Not 1 million, but I got a lot. And I know my shit. So if you want to start a rental property, let's get started. I'm going to make this easy to understand and short and simple and to the point because I know you got shit to do today. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to start a rental property, if you want to be a landlord, the very first thing you need to do is get an LLC. You can get it from the Secretary of State website. Now, it doesn't matter if it's an LLC, an S Corp, or a C Corp. But do your due diligence and know what each one is so you can recognize which one is best for you. I always recommend if you're brand new, start with an LLC. It's easy. Next, you're going to go to the bank, open a business bank account under your LLC's name. So I'm Jackie the Happy Investor. So it might be Jackie the Happy Investor LLC. Whatever you choose, that's what it's going to be. Open your bank account and put like $50 in there for now. You don't have to have $1 million. Just get something and get it open. Next step, you're going to get with a realtor and you're going to find a house to flip. Now, you want to tell the realtor, I am looking for properties that are distressed. And you might say, well, Jackie, why don't I just buy a brand new property? Well, if you buy a brand new property that's already ready, the chances of you having a higher net monthly income is pretty low. When you find a property that's old or needs work or it's distressed, you're going to put some equity into that, which means you're going to spend less money and you're going to make more money every month. Not only that, but when you fix it the right way from the start, you have a better chance of almost nothing going wrong. I mean, other than broken windows and clogged toilets, but you're going to have a good lease and you're going to make the tenants cover that, which we'll talk about later. You're going to find a property that you like, you're going to tell your realtor, and then you're going to put an offer on the property, which means you're going to put it under contract. You're going to say, you know what? I love your property. I would like to give you $100,000 for it. Here is my offer. And let's say they agree and sign to it. Well, now you're under contract. You have what is called an executed contract. That just means everybody signed and they'll do the deal as long as you can bring some money. So now let's talk about the money. Now, there's 2 things you can do. Well, there's like 10 things you can do, but we're going to go over the 2 most common right now when you're a real estate investor. First, you can go to the bank. You can go to your banker and you could say, hey, Mr. Banker, I found a property. It needs some work. I'd like a construction loan. And then I would like for that construction loan to turn into permanent financing. So it goes from short term to long term. And then you have a 30-year note on the property. Now, if you do that with some banks, you're going to have anywhere from 5% down to maybe 20% down. So if cash flow is not a problem for you, that's probably one of the best ways for you to go. Now, if you're like, Jackie, my credit's a little bit shoddy and I don't really have any money, but you still really want to do this, don't worry, there's an option for you as well. These are lenders called hard money lenders. Now you might say, what is that? A hard money lender is somebody that's going to lend you enough money to buy the property and to renovate the property. And they'll do it even if your credit's not great and even if you don't have a lot of money. And in some cases, even if you have no money. Yes, no money. There are lenders that will do 100% financing, usually if the deal is good enough. So let's talk about hard money lenders a little bit more in depth. The reason that your credit and your financial situation doesn't matter as much is because hard money lenders give you a real estate backed loan. So if this is the house that you brought them, they're going to put a lien on this house, which means if you fix it up, you make it all nice and pretty, but then you screw it up somewhere along the ways, they just get to keep the house and you walk away. No, it's not a bankruptcy. It's not a foreclosure. It's nothing like that. They just keep the property, but you have lost any of the sweat equity you've put into it. So you don't want to lose it and you don't want to burn that bridge because who else is willing to give you $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 with maybe a little bit of shoddy credit, no experience, and hardly any money? So you definitely want to work with hard money lenders. Now, a hard money lender stays within the parameters of what we call the 70% rule. So let me break it down. I know that sounds scary. It's not scary. So let's say you found this house over here. Okay, our house is a turtle and it's in really, really bad shape. It's ugly and it's run down and it's gross. So they're asking $100,000 for this little boo-boo piece of house. You ask the realtor, what will this house be worth after I fix it up and make it pretty? And she says, you know what? You'll be able to sell this once you make it pretty for $200,000. If you can follow the 70% rule, which means if you can buy the house and renovate the house for 70% of the ARV, that's the after repaired value. That's just a fancy way of saying what the house is going to be worth after you make it all pretty, okay? If you can buy the house and renovate it for 70% of that number. So what did we say? This house is going to be worth $200,000 when it's all fixed up and nice and pretty. So 70% of 200,000 is 140,000. So if you're buying this for 100, that gives you $40,000 to renovate it. So if you think, you know what, I can do that, and you're staying in that 70% rule, then there's a good chance a hard money lender is going to work with you. Now, I know you might be saying, Jackie, what about closing costs and all that other stuff? Well, guess what? You can roll them in. See, you don't know what you don't know, but I know it all. So what you're going to do then, you got the deal going, you're going to fix the property, you're going to make it all nice and pretty, and then the very first thing you're going to do is put tenants in it as soon as it's done. I mean, as soon as it's done. When the last guy's walking out, you're posting that property for rent on Facebook Marketplace, and you're getting some tenants in there. Then you're going to wait probably about 3 months to 6 months in some cases, and you're going to get a DSCR loan on it. You're going to refinance the property from your short-term hard money loan into permanent financing. So you might say, what's the difference? Hard money is a short-term loan. It's usually anywhere from 3 to 18 months. But you want permanent financing. You want something that's going to last for the next 30 years. So you're going to get a DSCR loan. Just look that up, Google it, and see what it is. And basically, it's a loan that they're going to give you that is based on appraisal and based on what the property is going to rent for. So, and you don't have to have perfect credit to do that either. It's totally possible. I help people all day, every day. I even get them in touch with my own lenders. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to get a DSCR loan. You're going to have tenants in it. And then just like that, you have one rental property. And then the second time you do it, you can use that property as collateral so you never have money down again on any property. So there you go. I hope that helps y'all. I hope that can at least get y'all started. And I'm always here if you have any questions.